As a 20-year-old, I had a job at selling health insurance. Well, one morning I came into the office and I was talking to the usual gal behind the front desk. And as I noticed, there was a man in the chair sitting behind her. And I didn't know who he was, so I continued to carry on my conversation with her in a very kind of social, casual way. Well, about 20 minutes later, our meeting started and he was introduced, and it was revealed that he was the vice president of the entire company. Now, if I would have known his identity and who he was, it would have changed the way I interacted. I would have been more formal. I wouldn't have ignored him, and on, right? Because he, in essence, represented the entire company. Well, as we conclude this week's devotions, we're going to see that Jesus' identity is revealed to us for the sake of changing the way that we think and interact. So I'm excited to dive in. John 1:14, the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. So John starts off his gospel by saying the Word was with God and the Word was God. And so it seems that by calling Jesus the Word, right, John is emphasizing the very existence of the Son of God is for the sake of communication. He is the exact representation of what the Father is like. Now, the rest of John's gospel goes about really proving this claim that he lays out in the beginning. And he gives increasing clarity as to Jesus' identity. Now, the purpose of his gospel, he says in 20:31, is that so you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you might have life in his name. Now, his book consists of 7 signs that reveal Jesus' identity as the eternal Son of God. The first sign takes place at a wedding, and the final sign is him raising Lazarus from the dead. Now, in addition to this, there are 7 I am statements that are made in this gospel. Now, the Greek word for I am means an eternal, self-existing one. So when Jesus makes these I am statements, it's revealing his identity as deity and his oneness with the Father. Now, the last I am statement he makes takes place when he's being arrested. And he's about to go to the cross. So the guards come to him and they say, "We are looking for Jesus." And he says, "I am he." Now, with that statement, they fall to the ground. But what's beautiful is he makes this I am statement as he's about to hand himself over. And perhaps what Jesus is saying to us as his followers is that power and authority are going to look vastly different. While he is the eternal Son of God, he is not using his power to assert his dominance, but rather submitting to arrest in order to save us. Now, the Christmas carol, "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," says it so well. "Veiled in flesh the Godhead see. Hail incarnate deity." As we get a clear glimpse of who Jesus is, it makes his willingness to put on flesh all the much more astonishing. And it makes his submission to the cross all that much more amazing. The infinite became finite in order to be with us. That is what Christmas is all about. And now as we get a clear glimpse of Jesus' identity and him surrendering his power in spite of that identity, we see the depths in which we are loved. And so I want to leave you with this question. How will you emulate Jesus' self-emptying love this Christmas season?